Hey everyone, tonight I want to show you something you can hear with the right radio setup. From almost anywhere on Earth. It's not a song, it's not a podcast, it's not an emergency broadcast. It's a signal that has been sitting on the same shortwave frequency for decades, like a ghost that never leaves the room. It's called a number station, and the most famous one is nicknamed the buzzer. If you've never heard it before, it's simple and creepy. A monotonous buzzing tone, repeating again and again, day and night, like someone forgot to hang up a microphone in a locked building. And then, at random moments, the buzz stops and a real voice breaks through with a coded message. Here's the hook. This is not internet fiction. It's a real radio transmission that thousands of hobbyists have recorded. The mystery is not whether it exists. The mystery is why it exists, who it's for, and why it never stops. Let's build the scene. Shortwave radio is old school, but it's powerful because it bounces off the atmosphere. That means one transmitter can be heard far away, crossing borders without needing satellites, cables, apps, or accounts. It's like a free global loudspeaker. So if you were an intelligence service and you wanted to send a message to someone in another country, Shortwave is perfect. You don't need their address. You don't need a phone number. You just transmit into the air, and only the right person knows when to listen. Number stations usually sound like a cold machine pretending to be human. You might hear a robotic voice reading groups of numbers, or strange words, or a sequence that means nothing to normal listeners. The best explanation people have is that the message is encrypted with something called a one-time pad, a paper code that can be truly unbreakable when used correctly. That makes the broadcast public but the meaning private. Everyone can hear it, but only one person can understand it. Now let's talk about the star of today's video, the buzzer. The commonly quoted frequency is 4625 kHz. And it's famous for that constant buzzing in upper sideband mode. Most of the time, it's just the buzz. But sometimes the buzz is interrupted by voice messages in Russian that read like nonsense. A call sign, then words, then numbers. People log them, compare them, obsess over them, and argue about what they mean. Here's where it gets even creepier. Listeners have sometimes heard background sounds under the buzz, like distant voices, movement, a chair scraping, even fragments of conversation. That makes it feel less like a clean digital signal and more like a real room with a microphone. That is always live. Imagine a single device buzzing into an open mic for years while the room behind it breathes. So what is it actually doing? The most boring theory is often the most likely. The buzzer could be a channel marker, a constant signal that keeps a frequency occupied and tells the receiving side, this channel is ours, it's working, stay ready. Then, when a real message needs to be sent, the operator interrupts the buzz and reads the coded transmission. That would explain why it's constant, why it's simple, and why the messages are short. But the internet loves the spicier theory, and I get it. People call it the doomsday radio and connect it to apocalyptic systems, automatic retaliation myths, or secret military triggers. Here's the honest version. Nobody publicly confirms the purpose, so speculation grows like mold in darkness. The buzzer becomes a blank screen for everyone's fears. Now the story becomes a real thriller because the station has a timeline. Recordings exist going back decades, and the format has changed. There were periods where the sound changed slightly, where call signs changed, and where weird interruptions happened. At times, people reported the signal being replaced by unexpected audio for brief moments, like music or strange noises, almost like somebody patched the wrong input into the transmitter. Whether those moments were mistakes, interference, pranks, or intentional tests is part of the mystery. What makes this topic perfect for a video is that you can recreate the obsession without lying, because the truth is enough. A persistent, unexplained, military-flavored broadcast exists, and its behavior suggests it's operational, not decorative. So how would a spy actually use a number station? Here's the picture. You are not streaming anything. You are not sending replies. You are not logging in. You have a small receiver, a schedule, and a book of numbers on paper. At a specific time, you tune in. You hear the code. You copy it down. You decode it with your one-time pad. Then you destroy the page. No digital trail. No server logs, no account to hack. The broadcast itself is not the secret. The key is the secret. And that brings us to the modern hoax. In 2026, with satellites everywhere and cyber everywhere, Why would anyone still use shortwave? Because when the world is messy, old tools can be reliable. Shortwave doesn't care if your internet is down. It doesn't care if your phone is compromised. It doesn't care if a cable gets cut. It is low-dec, but it's hard to turn off globally. Now here's the part that keeps people watching until the end. If the buzzer is just a channel marker, why does it sound so alive? Why are there open mic hints? Why are there sudden voice bursts that feel like someone stepping into a dark booth? And reading a ritual? Why does it keep going even when nobody supposed to be listening? One possibility is psychological. A constant signal creates a sense of presence. It says, "We are here. We are ready. The line is open." Another possibility is technical. It's a cheap method to confirm the transmitter and receiver chain is working. Like a heartbeat monitor, if the buzz stops unexpectedly, somebody notices immediately. And then there's the third possibility. It's both. It's functional, but it also sends a message to anyone who finds it. Not the content of the code, the message of the existence. So let's do the most important thing in any mystery video. Separate what we know from what we want to believe. We know the station broadcast on shortwave fan is widely monitored. We know it runs for long periods with a repeating sound. We know it sometimes transmits voice messages with structured content. We know it has changed call signs over time. We know the purpose is not officially explained to the public. Everything else is theory. And that's where the fun is, because the theories tell you more about people than the station. Some people want it to be a harmless relic. Some people want it to be a nuclear trigger. Some people want it to be a prank magnet. And some people, honestly, just love the feeling of tuning into a secret that doesn't care whether you understand it. Here's my final hook. You don't need to solve the buzzer for it to matter. It proves something simple about the modern world. Even now, there are channels running in the background, signals designed for someone else, systems that don't need your attention to exist. The internet makes us feel like everything is visible. Shortwave reminds you that some things were built to be heard, not understood. Thanks for watching. If you want more real mysteries like this, the kind you can actually verify with your own eyes and ears, subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.